This fan said that he could beat up Alex Pereira, and his reasoning was that Alex Pereira is a kickboxer and he is a collegiate wrestler. So let's just stay on that point for a moment. Let's not get into anything else. Let's stay on that point. So if Israel Adesanya was able to take down Alex Pereira, I think a collegiate wrestler would be able to take down Alex Pereira too and control him, possibly land hard ground and pound, etc., etc. We have never seen Alex Pereira go in there against the guy who is primarily a wrestler. Remember what I said there, primarily. Not a guy who can wrestle like a Jan Blachowicz, right? We've seen that. I'm talking about a guy who primarily wrestles. You get me? For that reason, I believe Dricus du Plessis beats Alex Pereira if they were to fight, because I think Dricus's power double leg would get the fight down to the floor, and Dricus does damage when he gets the fight down to the floor, usually. Watch the Robert Whittaker fight. Now, back to this matchup here. You know, a lot of people took the opportunity to make fun of this kid. Obviously, a young guy, big guy, got the double chin going, fair enough, but not for nothing, man. The idea that someone coming off the street, someone unknown, could beat up a UFC fighter isn't far-fetched. It's really not. The idea that a collegiate wrestler could beat up a kickboxer isn't crazy. And just because this guy has a UFC title around his waist doesn't mean it's impossible. A lot of you guys look at these people in the UFC, those three letters, and y'all think that they have superpowers. They don't. A good punch to the face will hurt them the same way it would hurt a regular person. A well-timed body shot will knock the wind out of them the same way it would another person. This is just basic martial arts theory and things like that, guys. A lot of you think you wouldn't be able to learn anything from the common folk. This guy's just the common folk. He's a collegiate wrestler. He's not in the UFC. He's not known. You've never heard his name. You've never seen him before this video or the original video where he made the interview. But that doesn't mean you couldn't learn something from him. That doesn't mean he doesn't have a thing or two to tell you that you may not know. In martial arts, and I'm noticing martial arts way and principle and things like this is going by the wayside these days. But in martial arts, you should be open to anything and anyone and be willing to learn from anyone. You get what I'm saying? And that's the way I live my life in general. I don't care if you're a homeless man on the street. I don't just write you off because you're in bad times. You know what I'm saying? If you got something to say, I'll hear you out, and okay, that was some good information. The idea that because you're doing better than someone in life, right? The guy in the UFC versus the guy who's not. The idea that you're perceived to be doing better than someone in life means that you have nothing to learn from them and whatever. It's ridiculous. In terms of this fight, man, clearly he's a big guy, right? Like, let's just break him down for a second. He's a big guy. I believe he's a tall guy. He actually responded to my comment on Instagram, and I was like, yo, is this him? And he liked it. So I'm pretty sure it was him. I went to his page, and, when he's in wrestling shape, when he's in camp for wrestling, when he's wrestling season, right? That's what they call it, the season. All this is gone. That double chin is gone, bro. All this is gone. He balloons up. He gets heavy out of camp. That's what guys do. That's what fighters do, guys. The idea that just because this guy looks, like a fucking IT computer nerd doesn't mean that he wouldn't be able to take Alex Pereira down and smash him out, bro. It just is what it is. I just see so many people come on here and they trash this guy. And it just, they're living in a weird fantasy world where things like that, don't happen, but in reality it does. In reality, there's nothing stopping this guy from taking Alex Pereira down, smashing him out. He very well could do that. Does he eat a left hook? Does he eat a knee? Does he eat an uppercut on the way in? Maybe he does. Maybe. But if he doesn't, I'm pretty confident that this guy could get a takedown on Alex Pereira. I wouldn't mind to see it. As a matter of fact, because he does have social media, I would actually like to see this guy come out more and be more vocal. I mean, this guy went pretty viral. All the pages were posting him. I would like to see him come out and talk more. And talk more about, Actually, that's what I think he said. Someone said he should be calling out a flyweight. He said, I would KILL a flyweight. And yeah, bro, he probably would. This guy's like a heavyweight guy. And yeah, that's pretty much my overall point, bro. Just because someone's in the UFC doesn't mean they can't get beat up by someone outside of the UFC. Like, what are we even talking about here? Alex Pereira, once upon a time, was outside of the UFC. Once upon a time, he was not competing. He was just a kickboxer. And a lot of you guys would have laughed at Alex Pereira the same way you're laughing at this fan for saying, oh, I could beat Israel Adesanya. You know what I mean? If he said that, y'all would have laughed at him because he was just some kickboxer guy in a bar. But look, all these years later, you get what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. Something I wanted to say, something I wanted to throw out there. Do you think you could beat up any UFC fighters? Let me know in the comment section below whether you agree, disagree. It doesn't matter. Just join the discussion, follow for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.